Good Tuesday morning, all church family and friends, everybody that joins us for devotion. We're going to share our screen and get started here. Let's see here. There we go. So we're going to continue on with forgiveness. I hope you got to watch the message Sunday. I hope you got to be with us. But, man, wonderful message. Our pastor's just doing a phenomenal job lately. Give God the credit for that. So he don't jump on me. I give God the credit for that. But man, he has to put his work in too, and his study and prayer, and let God use him to be that vessel. And he has. So thankful for what God is using him for. And even the devotion Monday's devotion was great. There is a link there is a YouTube link, if you go find it, that shows the Doritos commercial with the shot collar of the dog. If you're too young to remember that, or if you don't remember it, it was a Super Bowl commercial years ago. And at the time that he preached on that, he actually put a shot collar around his neck that morning that I had for one of my hunting dogs. And I was sitting in the first pew that morning with the button in my hand. I just couldn't bring myself to push the button. So anyway, let's get on with our devotion here for Tuesday. I want to continue on with forgiveness. And man, I love the study of forgiveness. Actually, something that the Lord has been working on me with a message for the last little bit. And I haven't got anything together, just some thoughts the Lord been giving me. And then Sunday morning, I said, well, maybe it was just for the pastor. He got to it before I did, but I'd rather hear him anyway. But forgiveness is something that it's really important to me. It's something when I was younger, I really had a hard time with. It's something that as a teenager and even as a young adult man, I had a problem with forgiveness. I was one of those people. If you done something to me, if you done something to my family, if you owed me in any way, as Pastor was talking about in the first devotion on Monday, I was one of those people. It was probably best if we didn't cross paths. I'm not proud to say that at all, but that was just who I was. And it's something that God has taught me and worked with me on and blessed me to do better at as I've got older. And a lot of situations that I've had to go through, and you learn forgiveness, and you learn that through Christ and by looking at him as the example. So I put this on the screen. There's a freedom in forgiveness, and I'll show you that on the last slide. There is freedom in forgiveness. I want you to remember that. But going on with forgiveness real quick, I want to go one of the greatest stories of forgiveness that we'll ever read in the Bible. And we talk about the parable of the prodigal son in Luke 15 and 20. And a little backdrop there, a little backstory. The man had two sons, and one of them comes and he wants to leave. He wants all of his inheritance right then, and his father gives it to him. And, just stop for a minute and think of how disrespectful that was to his father. Think of how disrespectful that was to his parent, to the one that loved him and nurtured him and took care of him and provided for him, just to take it all. Take what he wanted when he was dead and didn't want to wait on that, but he wanted it now. And he goes out and he lives this life and he goes through it in no time at all. And we see that he woke up one day. The Bible says he came to himself and he said, I'm going to go back to my father. And this is one of the greatest examples of forgiveness that I think you'll find in the Bible. And it says, and he rose and came to his father. This is the son after he'd been living with the hogs. It says, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and he had compassion. He had compassion, just like Christ had compassion on us. So if we want that example to be Christ-like, we have to have compassion. Even when someone has wronged us or whatever that may be, we still have to have compassion. His father, it says he ran and he fell on his neck and he kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. But this was the response of his father. He says, but the father said to his servants, go bring forth the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Bring hither the fatted calf, kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. There was happiness, all because the father had compassion and the father had forgiveness for what his son had done. So what would have happened if he didn't? What would have been the outcome if the father wouldn't have had forgiveness? And rightfully so, we could all say, rightfully so, the son got what he deserved. He took his and he used it, and he could have come back and he could have made him a servant. You read on down there sometime, you'll see that his brother actually got upset with his father because of what he had done. But what if he didn't forgive him? What if he didn't show compassion? What if he wasn't Christ-like and showed some love? Okay, so ask yourself that question. Now, and the pastor's preached on forgiveness before. In the next slide, I'm going to show you it's something that has stuck with me for many, many years. I don't remember how many years ago that he gave this quote. Forgiveness is for the offended, not the offender. And if we don't forgive, there is something inside of us that will boil and turn, and it'll just completely tear our lives up, and it'll make us miserable. We have to find that place to where we say, God, give me forgiveness. And it's not always easy to forget, but we have to forgive. We have to search for that forgiveness. And it's more for us. If someone has wronged me, it is better for me, and it is better for my life, and it's better for my joy and my happiness to be able to forgive than it is even for them to grant them that forgiveness. They're still going to be hurting with what they've done, and maybe we think that rightfully so, but we can't live miserable. We can't live just waiting to get them back, and like the pastor said, to be able to put our hands around their throat just to be able to grab them or look for the next opportunity to get them back. We got to forgive. We got to pray for them. We got to love, and we got to go on. I hope that means something to you today. I want to give you this. Just the same as the prodigal son was. If you're watching this today and for some reason you feel like that you've left God, you've left where you were at with him, he is standing there waiting. And if you come back, he will run to you and wrap his arms around your neck. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, great week. We're getting ready for the mission trip. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Love you all.